Good morning, dear students. So we are going with the reading of chapter, the fifth one. Chapter name is Indigo, written by Louis Fisher. And in this one, we are going through the experiences that the Gandhi shared with Louis Fisher. What was the condition of Indian during that particular agriculture level, that was sharecropping? So we were discussing that part, and till here we have read, and in this one we came to know that Rajkumar Shukla followed Gandhi everywhere and got an appointment, and later he brought him to Patna, where J.B. Kripalani and a government teacher Malkani received and gave shelter to him for 2 days. Okay, and that was the effect of home rule movement. Now, next. The news of Gandhi's advent and of the nature of his mission spread quickly through Muzaffarpur and to Champaran. As Gandhi reached Muzaffarpur, so the news of coming Gandhi to that particular location of the nation spread out through Muzaffarpur and Champaran, both locations. Sharecroppers from Champaran began arriving on foot. Okay, they came to see on foot and by convenience to see their champion. Who would be that champion? Gandhi. Because first time they came to know that somebody is coming forward to help them out, and the person is unknown to them. So to see him or to meet him, the people of Champaran, Muzaffarpur, they came on foot. Okay, to meet Gandhi. Muzaffarpur lawyers called on Gandhi to brief him. Means after reaching at Muzaffarpur, Gandhi called all the lawyers, those who were fighting the case of sharecroppers or sharecropping. They frequently represented peasants group in court. Means very quickly, okay, they represent the case of sharecropping in the court. They told him about their cases and reported the size of their fee. Okay, all the lawyers, they told each and every point of case to Gandhi and reported the size of their fee, whatever the amount they were taking from peasants. Gandhi chided the lawyers for collecting big fee from the sharecroppers. As Gandhi came to know that these lawyers, they were taking such a high amount as a court fee from the peasants or from the sharecroppers, at that time Gandhi chided, means scolded the lawyers for taking high fee. What could be the reason of this scolding? First thing, the case is not getting any kind of conclusion in favor of peasant. Second thing, they are paying 15% of their total land, and third thing, they are paying high fee. So overall, it was, you can say, dear children, it was an exploitation from the side of lawyers or the Britishers to the peasants. Then he said, I have come to the conclusion. Then Gandhi decided what? That we should stop going to law courts. They will not, Gandhi decided that after today or after this day, they will not go to law court. Taking such cases to the courts does little good. Gandhi told them that such cases, if we take them to the law court, they do a very little good. Means there is no betterment. Where the peasants are so crushed and fear stricken. All the peasants, those who were doing sharecropping, they were crushed like a plastic bottle, like we do, and fear stricken. They were fearful because of the fear of Britishers. Law courts are useless. Okay, the real relief for them is to be free from fear. Then Gandhi concluded his talk by saying, we will not go to the law court. Second thing, we have to remove the fear of Britishers from the mind of peasants or Indian. This is written here. The real relief for them is to be free from fear. Understood? So the real, you can say, relax will be there if we are able to remove the fear of Britishers from the mind of Indian or sharecroppers. Then they will be self-confident. Most of the arable land in the Champaran district was divided into large estate. Means fertile land was divided into some, you can say, large estates owned by Englishmen. Who were the owner of that arable or fertile land? Englishmen, Britishers, and worked by Indian tenants. Indian tenants, those who did agriculture on some portion of income. The chief commercial crop was indigo. At that time, the chief commercial crop was indigo. The landlords compelled all the tenants to plant 320s or 15% of their holdings with indigo and surrender the entire indigo harvest as rent. This was done by long-term contract. Dear children, here in this chapter, here on this page, we come to know what was real sharecropping. As I told you, a person or a peasant or a sharecropper should grow indigo, the most commercial crop of that time, on 15% of their total holding. Total holding means whatever the agricultural land the person has or the peasants have, and they have to grow indigo or harvest indigo and then surrender the amount of the production of the total indigo to the Britishers as a rent. So that was a long-term contract. Long-term means that has been coming to the peasants since long time. Okay, this was the contract between peasants or you can say sharecroppers and British government. Then next thing, presently the landlords learned that Germany had developed synthetic indigo. At that time, landlords means Indian landlords, they came to know through Englishmen that Germany, this country, has developed synthetic indigo. They thereupon obtained agreement from the sharecroppers to pay them compensation for being released from the 15% arrangement. Then they obtained agreement, means that was a deal, that they are releasing them from this particular long-term contract, so they need to pay 15% as a compensation, okay, of the total amount. The sharecropping arrangement was irksome. Irksome means problematic to the peasants, and many signed willingly. Most of the peasants, they signed this contract that they will get 15% of the compensation. They signed willingly. Those who resisted, those who protested even, engaged lawyers. They hired lawyers. They went to law courts. The landlords hired thugs. Thugs mean rugs, scoundrels, evil intention people. Meanwhile, the information about synthetic indigo reached the illiterate peasants. Now, later on, the illiterate peasants or illiterate sharecroppers, they came to know about synthetic indigo, who had signed, those who signed willingly. Listen here, dear children, those who signed willingly, and they wanted their money back. Earlier, those who signed willingly means the people, they were unknown to the fact that what is the real fact behind that particular agreement. Later they came to know that Germany has developed a synthetic indigo. That's why they are ready to pay 15% of the total compensation of the production. Then at this point, Gandhi arrived in Champaran. When this was going on in this particular district, Champaran, Gandhi arrived in Champaran. He began by trying to get the facts. He was trying to get the data. What is happening right now? What has happened? Okay, what happened earlier and what will happen, means what kind of things are going on. He wants to collect, he tries to collect the data. First, he visited the secretary of the British Landlords Association, the office. The secretary told him that they could not give no information to an outsider. The secretary exclaimed that he will not give the data of sharecropping to an outsider. Who is outsider right now? Gandhi. For whom? The secretary. Because at that time I told you Gandhi was not known to every Indian. Okay. Like Champaran district was unknown to Gandhi. In the same way, Gandhi was unknown to the secretary also, and the secretary thought that this person is an outsider. Then what is the reply of Gandhi? Gandhi answered that he was no outsider. Then he told, I am also an Indian. Next, Gandhi called on the British official commissioner of the Tirhut division. After Champaran, he went to Tirhut division, Tirhut location, in which the Champaran district lay. Okay. The commissioner, Gandhi reports, proceeded to bully me and advised me forthwith to leave Tirhut. The commissioner started misbehaving with Gandhi and what? And advised him to leave Tirhut on the spot very quickly, as soon as possible. Gandhi did not leave. What Gandhi did? Gandhi did not leave Tirhut. Instead, he proceeded to Motihari. In spite of leaving Tirhut, he proceeded to Motihari, next location, the capital of Champaran district. Okay, several lawyers accompanied him. Many people like lawyers, they were also with him. At the railway station, a vast multitude greeted. Multitude means crowd. A vast multitude, a great crowd greeted Gandhi, welcomed Gandhi. He went to a house and using it as headquarters. So, my dear children, at Motihari location, Gandhi started his project and made it his headquarters, from where he will operate the this particular project of sharecropping to end it. Okay, then continued his investigations. After making Motihari his headquarters, he started investigating the facts and the data of sharecropping. A report came in that a peasant had been maltreated in a nearby village. Then Gandhi came to know that nearby Tirhut, nearby Motihari, a peasant was ill-treated by Britishers. Gandhi decided to go and see. Okay, Gandhi himself wanted to go and to see the real situation. The next morning, he started out on the back of an elephant. So he started his journey on the back of an elephant. He had not proceeded far. He just started his journey when the police superintendent messenger overtook him. He came over there. The messenger of police superintendent came over there and ordered him to return to town and ordered him to return to Motihari. In his carriage, in his wagon, in his you can say wagon or car, whatever he like elephant. Gandhi complied. The messenger drove Gandhi home, where he served him with an official notice to quit Champaran immediately. So Gandhi came back to Motihari, and he, means the messenger, gave him an official notice to leave Champaran as soon as possible. Gandhi signed a receipt for the notice and wrote on it that he would disobey the order. So as Gandhi got the notice from the messenger hand to leave Champaran as soon as possible, on the spot Gandhi wrote on this notice that he would disobey the order. Then, in consequence, as a result, Gandhi received a summons to appear in court the next day. So, the next day he got summons to present himself before the magistrate in the court. All night, Gandhi remained awake. Okay, he did not sleep. He telegraphed Rajendra Prasad to come from Bihar, Patna. Rajendra Prasad, who later became the president of Indian National Congress, to come from Bihar with influential friends, with some people, those who were known to the magistrate and other dignitaries or other officials of British government. He sent instruction to the ashram. Which ashram? Sevagram ashram. He telephoned a full report to the viceroy. During the night, he did not sleep. He messaged, means telegraphed, Rajendra Prasad to come to Motihari with some people, those who were influential, and he also sent some instruction to the Sevagram Ashram in Ahmedabad, Gujarat, and he wired a complete report to the Viceroy of Champaran district. Okay, so that's all for today. We will continue with the reading of the chapter in next video. Till then, do reading and understand it properly. Thank you. Have a good day.